For 70 years, we've lived in the shadows of the Great War. A war that destroyed Earth and forced humanity into the cold void of space. Those three great warring empires have taken our homes, our families, and forced us into a life of raiding, fighting each other over the scraps from their table. Well, no more. They thought we would just roll over and die, but we survived. We owe no loyalty to any king or country. What we do now, we do for ourselves. We come from the darkness. We hit hard. We hit fast. We are Marauders.
What's up, guys? Today we're going to try something a little bit different. As you can see, I'm not using a face cam. Now I know what you're thinking. Is that because I'm ugly? Possibly, but I really don't want to get into it at this time. Anyways, in today's video, we'll be checking out this game called Marauders, which is a game I bought upon release and only played a handful of times, but me and my friends really enjoyed it. So Marauders, to put it simply, is like Tarkov, but in space. You gear up in the lobby that looks and operates like pretty much any extraction shooter that you've previously played, with a Tetris-style storage system, minimal space to carry anything on your character. At least that's the way it is in the beginning. But eventually, like most extraction shooters, you'll eventually have some good gear and you'll be able to go into the raid feeling a little more confident. Not like me with my shotgun, my Mauser, and this bottle. There's a couple different ways that you can enter the raid. You can create a crew or join a crew and play as a team. That probably makes it a little bit easier. I haven't done that yet because I'm scared of people, but you can also just launch in solo with this button right here, which is probably the way I'm going to do it today, just to show you guys a little bit about the game. But don't be scared to play with people. Like, it's probably way more fun, I would imagine. This is where the game really shines. You spawn into your own ship, complete with a bunch of different rooms that all have different functions and some that have zero function. This ship in particular is called the Rust Bucket. It's the starting ship, but as you play the game more, you will eventually get better ships that have more armor, more gunpowder, do more damage, and are even faster. Every ship is equipped with 4 escape pods located in the engine room. The airlock, where you exit the ship to enter the raid area. And finally, the cockpit, where you control your ship and fly it into the space station to continue your raid. Oh, and near the engine bay is also a few fire extinguishers, just in case. Now, this is one of the more unique parts of the game. Getting to and from the space station is not always guaranteed, as other crews are also manning spaceships and have the ability to either shoot you or board you and try to steal your ship, which if you aren't careful could also ultimately lead to your death. In this situation, I lose a gunfight against another Rust Bucket, so I only have 2 options: get in my escape pod and escape, or try to breach the other ship and kill everyone on board. Of course, my mom didn't raise a quitter, so I breached the other ship. So to do this, you basically just jump in your escape pod, fly as fast as you can towards the other ship using the boost option that you're provided when using an escape pod, and press F to breach the other ship. But unfortunately for me, my mom also didn't raise much of a gamer, so I got absolutely destroyed by the other crew and sent back to the lobby. To get to the raid area, you basically land your ship into the space station and go down into the airlock, where your little dude will decompress before exiting the ship. You're equipped with all the stuff you loaded up before you entered the raid, as well as a very important keycard that you will need to get back onto your ship. And make sure you remember which door you spawn in at, because there are a lot of them, and your keycard only works on one. Would be pretty silly if you forgot. Let me out, let me out, let me out! What the fuck? As you can see, the game looks great. It's dark and gritty, a very cool environment. It's easy to hear enemy footsteps, and the sounds of everything else in the game do a good job of immersing you into the world that they've created. It's loud at times and way too quiet at others, but I don't mean that as a criticism. I mean it in a way that keeps you on edge. There's no shortage of action. As you can see, I basically run into 3 enemies right out of the chamber. The bots are maybe a little too easy, but don't worry, there are a lot of human players kicking around to ruin a good experience. There does seem to be a good ratio of bots to human players, and I find myself enjoying the movement and the gunplay that the game provides. It's honestly a breath of fresh air, as it isn't quite as hardcore as Tarkov, but you still get that feeling of accomplishment when you do manage to escape. If you do have friends to play with, then I would recommend doing so, as it will spawn you into matches against crews with multiple people, even if you're just a solo, which is honestly pretty lame. But also because just playing with a friend is a better experience overall. The game provides a couple of different ways to make squatting up more enjoyable, like the ability to have one person fly the ship and one person to man the guns. There's also 4 fire extinguishers just in case you get to that point where you might need them all. But just remember, there are no markers to tell you who your teammates are, and absolutely you will be gunning down your friends if you aren't careful, so. Overall, I think the game is a great experience at a decent price point. It feels smooth and provides rewarding gameplay with the added benefit of not having to be an absolute sweatlord to enjoy it. But as I mentioned earlier, my favorite part of the game has to be the gunplay. Although I am a little tired of older style guns, like I think these are World War II guns maybe, it would have been cool to see a couple scopes instead of only having the ability to use iron sights. But honestly, a pretty small gripe, and I still like the game a lot. Anyways, that's Marauders. I hope you liked the video, and if you ended up buying the game, let me know in the comments below. Thanks.